Hello everybody, this is Randy Gonzalez and I'd like to show you the application I made using MarkLogic. The name of the application is called the Poverty Map. It aims to give you a tool to visually explore the poverty incidence in the Philippines. The poverty incidence is defined as the ratio of the families who do not have sufficient income to meet the basic food and non-food requirements versus the total number of families in a particular location. For example, in Cagayan Valley, one-fourth of the families do not have an income of 100,000 pesos a year for a family of five to meet the basic food and nutritional requirements, basic food and satisfy the nutritional requirements set by the Food and Nutritional Research Institute of the Philippines, and also the non-food requirements like clothing, housing, transport, health, and educational expenses. So in the Cordilleras, 29% of the families could not meet or go beyond the poverty threshold. So, but once you go down to the areas around Metro Manila, the poverty incidence is improved. No? So, Calabarzon has a poverty incidence of 14%, and Central Luzon has a poverty incidence of 15%. So, beyond that, the poverty incidence rates go up again. Let's say in Bicol, it's 43%. In Eastern Visayas, it's 45%. And the poorest region in the Philippines is the autonomous region of Muslim Mindanao, wherein half or almost or more than half of the families could not meet their basic requirements. If you want to go down to the provincial level, we just zoom in and it should show you the choropleth for the provinces in the Philippines. So in the poorest provinces are Apayao with a rate of 62%, Ifugao with a rate of 54%, Eastern Samar has a rate of 67%. No? And Eastern Samar was one of the badly hit provinces or badly affected provinces by Typhoon Yolanda in 2013. And the poorest province in the Philippines is Lanao del Sur, wherein three-fourths of the families do not have sufficient or an income of more than 100,000 pesos a year. By the way, this province, Sharif Kabunsuan, do not have any data. That's why the color legend is black. No? Actually, the color legend of black should not be there. But I just wanted to see which provinces do not have any data. And comes to no surprise that the provinces with the least poverty incidence are the provinces around Metro Manila. So Pampanga has 8.5, Bulacan has 8.9, Rizal has 9.4, Laguna has 8.5, and Cavite has 5%. 5.5. Metro Manila itself has a poverty rate of 5.4%. No? So only 5% of the families in Metro Manila do not have sufficient income. It's very interesting to know that we always thought that the poorest people in the country are in Metro Manila. However, the map shows otherwise. There are a lot more poor people, poor Filipinos outside of Metro Manila. It's also no wonder why people are coming into Metro Manila, because this is where you can get an income which would bring you above the poverty level. If you want to see the what the government is doing for a particular province, you just double click that area in the map. So for the province of Marinduque, the government has put in 323 projects. And these are, the breakdown is as follows. 315 are from DepEd. 2% is from DSWD, KC, NCDPP, and DAR has less than 1% of the projects. This is, of course, very incomplete. Yes, I was only able to upload 40,000 projects from the original list of 120,000 projects given to me by DSWD. No? I experienced some problems uploading data to MarkLogic. It happened to me several times. No? So that's why I only have 40,000 projects, and unfortunately, most of the data I uploaded were from DepEd. So there's a very glaring uh, picture here that most of the projects are done by DepEd. But actually, a lot of other government agencies have also have projects in that location. Okay. So if you want to see the municipalities, we just zoom in. So our area of interest is in Central Visayas, and it shows you the municipalities of Negros Oriental, Cebu, and Bohol. Okay. So in Bohol, let's say for San Isidro, which has a poverty rate of 64%, the government has 34 projects. For Pilar, which has a poverty incidence of 67%, you have 40 projects. In Cebu, in Santander, which has a poverty incidence of 41%, you have 18 projects. Again, mostly by the Department of Education. So, let's say for the Camotes Islands in San Francisco, you have 58 projects. In Poro, Cebu, also in Camotes, you have 102 projects combined with San Francisco. You want to see the details of the projects, you just click on the marker, let's say for San Francisco, and it will show you the projects of DepEd, school building, computerization, science and math equipment, etc., classroom construction in Yolanda areas, etc. For Poro, you have these projects. Again, it's mostly DepEd. You can also actually get the number of projects for a particular province. Let's say in Marinduque, you have 323 projects. Again, this is the breakdown. So the the manner of presenting the data in a visual form gives you a different insight rather than just looking at columns and numbers. So this is what I wanted to do when I did the poverty map. So I mentioned earlier that the purpose of the application is to show vividly and in an insightful manner poverty incidents in the Philippines, for you to appreciate the situation. It also seeks to answer the question, where are the poor in the country? And as I mentioned earlier, these are the definitions of poverty incidents. I got the data from the Philippine Statistics Authority, or the PSA, for the poverty incidents. The poverty incidents data for the regional and provincial level is from the 2012 survey, but the data for the municipalities is from 2009. I couldn't find any data from PSA about the poverty incidents for the municipalities for the 2012 survey. For the projects of the government, I got them from DSWD. DSWD gave me 100 a database of 120,000 projects, which is currently being implemented all over the Philippines. But the data came in PDF format, or some data came in PDF format. And so there were a lot of text manipulation required to convert them to XML, and upload them eventually to MarkLogic. There are also a lot of inconsistencies in the key field names, which I will explain later. Okay. As I mentioned earlier, the main feature of the application is the choropleth, which shows you the poverty incidents in different shades proportion to the measurement of statistical variable being displayed on the map. It also wants to show you the attempts of the government to do something about poverty. Okay. There was no performance testing done because we didn't have access to a hosted MarkLogic database. I only used it on my workstation. So, but I think, but we tested the response time, etc. It should improve with a faster server. In order for this application to go live, we need MarkLogic 8, which saves JSON files natively. In MarkLogic 7, the JSON data is converted to XML and translated back to JSON when retrieved. But it does not work for JSON data. By the way, JSON data contains the data required for you to draw the map, the areas in the map. So if you upload JSON data to MarkLogic, it will accept it. However, if you retrieve it back, it doesn't give you the correct structure. Okay. So if you send that data, use that data to draw the map, it will not draw anything. However, as I read in the press releases, MarkLogic 8 would save the JSON files natively. So there should be no problem retrieving back the JSON data, GeoJSON data. And with that, MarkLogic 8 could also be used as the GeoJSON server. which would allow us to have a search facility, let's say to look for a particular municipality, and go through the GeoJSON data and give us the properties and the polygons required to draw the map on screen. So the underlying system architecture is, of course, I used MarkLogic 7 and I access the data using REST APIs. I wrote the code using the Roxy framework, and the map itself was written in JavaScript. I also used Roxy to deploy the modules in MarkLogic. As I mentioned earlier, the GeoJSON data were stored in a different server. No, I wrote a Node application to render the GeoJSON files for this application. I also used a lot of Perl and Python scripts to transform data from Excel and PDF to XML. So other things that I learned from this application is that data and government agencies are not ready for sharing. It could be used for internal, it's useful for their internal requirements, but once they use it with other data from other agencies, then there are a lot of problems. Let's say the names of municipalities are standard. Let's say Las Piñas is written as City of Las Piñas in PSA data. However, in the GeoJSON files, it is written as Las Piñas City. So you couldn't get the data for Las Piñas City. So you had to do a lot of transformation. And there's, of course, a very glaring error wherein a region 4B, is written as Minapora in some files, where in the correct name should be Mimaropa, which is Mindoro, Marinduque, Romblon, and Palawan. So I had to do a lot of editing to be able to draw the map. So as I mentioned earlier, the data comes in various forms in PDF and Excel. I need to convert the PDF to text and to XML. And hopefully in the future, the government agencies should have REST APIs where you can just retrieve the data easily by just doing a REST call, just like in most of the government agencies in the US. In the future, we could use this application as a platform for displaying other government data without any coding. All you need to do is upload the data to MarkLogic. For example, we can upload the population, the number of people for a particular region, province, and municipality, and display them as a heat map, without writing any code, just improving this application. So again, this is the poverty map application. Thank you.